Hello, hello, hello. I don't even know if this is set up properly. We pray. If it doesn't work, too bad. But I think we're recording.
I'm not praying, but I'm crossing my fingers.
Okay, you're crossing your fingers.
Mhm.
Now, you don't quite sound like Ville.
No?
Oh, you are Ville? do your
I sound
best,
like my normal.
do your best Ville impression.
Hey, dude.
Okay, well, you don't sound like Ville. You don't look like Ville. For better or worse.
Mhm.
And I think it is
Well,
because...
it seems like you have a pretty big crush on him, so I guess it's not in your favor.
Am I not good at hiding it?
No.
I've been trying my best. I do have a big crush on Ville. Ville, if you're listening to this, I miss you. But we'll get to that. I think you don't sound and look like Ville because you're not Ville. And you are very much somebody else. Who are you?
It's a good question.
Isn't that like the
I've
big...
been asking myself the same question for 20 years.
It's very philosophical.
Mhm.
We already started.
Mhm.
Well, I will help out with that. You are someone who we've been talking to on the podcast a lot, and you're...
You've been talking about behind my back.
That's actually a good point.
Mhm.
We've been talking behind your back in front of everybody else listening
Mhm.
about you, and you somehow managed to come up on our podcasts all the time because I talk about you all the time because you are, drum roll please, my girlfriend.
I was gonna say, I think it would be hilarious if you never get to the part where you actually introduce me and we just keep talking about, so who are you?
That's actually a good point.
And by the end of this podcast, everyone's still wondering, who was she? Who was that girl?
You're the mystery guest
Yeah.
that will never be revealed.
Yeah.
But the cat
Well,
is...
I guess you ruined that now.
I
so,
ruined it.
yeah.
I mean, that's a running theme of the podcast. I
Mhm.
ruined it.
Yeah.
But the cat is out of the bag. You're my
Mhm.
girlfriend. And we've been talking about you a lot. Now you get to defend yourself if you need defending.
Mhm.
You get to expose me, even though you have absolutely nothing to say on me. I'm pretty sure.
Sure.
I didn't like that. I'm going to cut that out. And the reason you're here, the reason you're a special guest in today's episode is because we have big news. Okay, that sounded a bit
That
wrong.
sounds very,
Not me and you.
I don't know if this should be official conversation.
Okay. Rewind.
We don't have big news.
Not me and you. Not
Yeah.
me and you. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Unless you have something you want to tell me.
Well, we'll get to that in the
Mhm.
end of this episode.
Mhm.
But the big news is from Ville, our lovely fan favorite, better co-host of this podcast, because he became a father.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's great. Congratulations, Ville.
Congratulations to Ville. Congratulations to his lovely partner in life. And they have a beautiful daughter.
And congratulations to the baby for being born.
Yeah, congratulations on being alive.
Welcome to the world.
Welcome to the world. It's only
Yeah.
downhill. Oh, God.
For the next 2 years, you're okay.
Yeah, you're getting taken care of. That's
Mhm.
pretty nice.
Mhm.
So-
You're just jealous of the baby because it gets to be with Ville.
You know, real talk, first of all,
Mhm.
when we went to visit them,
Mhm.
I actually asked Ville if he could adopt me because he is an amazing father.
Mhm.
He's such a good father and he's perfect for this job. I mean, it's a full-time job to be a parent,
Yeah.
especially of a newborn. And I
Yeah.
just want to say Ville is amazing and so is his partner, and they're lovely parents, and in fact so good that I wanted him to be my father. I kind of wanted him to adopt me.
Well, I knew you were close with Ville, but this is taking a weird turn now.
Yeah, I guess it's well, I either want him to be my man or my dad. He
Yeah,
can choose what. It's up to
You
him.
just want to be close to him.
I just want to be with him every moment of my life.
Yeah.
So Ville, if you're listening to this, we miss you. And again, congratulations.
Mm-hmm.
He's very much being busy with being a dad, right?
Yeah.
So we don't know when he'll be back. So for the time being, you are very kind to step in those big shoes.
Yes.
Yes.
Not forced. It's totally in my own
Okay, so
my own will.
this I just imagine like one of those videos from like caves from like hostages. You're like, please send $20,000 in this location.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're not forced, but it's implied that you're more than highly required.
Yeah.
But you have a lot to say. Now here's the cool thing.
Do I?
You do. We'll put it in the editing. See. Yes. we watch movies all the time, me and you.
Yes.
And that's something that comes up on the podcast all the time. And
it's a movie podcast.
Who would have? I mean, honestly, at this point, it's just sort of about everything, but it's pretty much about movies.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. Something about you that I am jealous of, and it hurts me to admit, because I am, as everyone knows, the internationally recognized film expert.
Bring it.
You are better than me at picking up on things at movies quicker.
Yeah.
Okay, you're also very humble, I can see. But it's true.
No, I reckon you're right. There has been a few times where I've got on something and you're like, oh, that's a good...
Yeah. You would say catch. Like, you, sometimes it would be a lot quicker. Mm-hmm. I'm talking things like noticing a detail that I would miss, or sometimes actually like a big plot line. Or you would see a twist coming way quicker than me.
Well, it's not like I'm looking for these details.
Mm-hmm.
It just, I have a feeling, and sometimes it's right.
Sometimes it's right. And when it's not,
mm-hmm. I don't tell you about it.
No, trust me. When it's not right, I do love to point it out.
Mm-hmm.
It's my favorite thing.
Yeah.
It's my hobby.
What was the movie we saw lately where I kept saying, this is going to happen, and, every time it never happened. What was the movie?
Okay, well,
I don't remember.
We watch a lot of movies.
It was like very lately.
Very lately.
Yeah, and then you actually had like a...
Which
it was The Missing.
The Missing? Oh,
yeah,
Missing.
Yeah.
Oh, Missing. Oh, it was such a good movie.
It's a great movie. I kept coming up with theories about what was going to happen, and
you were always 10%
wrong. Was right.
Can we talk?
I think it's great how the movie kept surprising us.
It really did. That movie was made to make you wrong,
to make me think that I don't know shit. No, I don't know.
and I very much enjoyed that. Can we talk about this movie though, because it was great, and you ended up liking it. Right?
I wasn't expecting it, because I'm not much into computer movies, like where the whole movie takes place in the computer screen.
Yeah.
But this was done very well and very creatively. So, and it kept you enticed the whole time. Like you didn't get bored, or you weren't like, oh, of course they did that. I mean, how else were they supposed to do that? You never had that. At least I never did.
That's the thing about this film, though, that I don't remember the last time I've seen a movie where it kept giving you a new twist and a new twist and a new twist, and just when you thought you had it, it was completely off, and then a new twist again. Like there must have been at least 10 times where this movie completely changed direction.
But they really started right from the beginning to really set us off on the wrong path.
Yeah.
Like they really set it up to be something completely different than what it turned out to be, which is a great. I think it makes it more fun for the viewer, because you get to sit and guess, and you're like, oh, am I right?
Yeah.
And then by the end, they're just like, no, you're fucking not. But
and you get to
that makes it fun. Yeah,
it makes it fun. Yeah. That's the thing, though.
But
right?
you were pretty spot on with one of your theories. But I guess we're not gonna.
Nah, this podcast is spoiler podcast.
Oh, okay.
I don't even remember which one was that.
Well, about the dad being the bad guy. Actually,
yes.
Like I didn't see that one coming. At least that was not anything that I even considered being an option.
Yeah, But
what? That was a really good. That was a good eye. See, this is one of the times where you actually had one on me.
Now this has been made in the stars. This is the universe. The one time I'm actually right, you get to tell it on a podcast.
Yes.
The one time.
This is hard for me.
I know. I can see.
Let's re-record this tomorrow.
The next movie we'll watch will go back to normal, where I'm completely off. But it's fun to it's fun to make theories. Sometimes not sometimes, often we'll watch movies and we'll just pause it to try to guess what's gonna happen.
Often a movie is like 1.5 and 2 hours. It usually takes us like 3 hours to get through a movie because we stop it so much.
Now be honest, how often do I pause a movie and tell you match cut?
Every time there's a match cut.
You cannot see a match cut now.
No. And if I don't see it, you stop it and you look at me and you're like, yeah. And I don't get it. And you're like, fucking match cut. And then I roll my eyes and I just click play button.
This 10 seconds summarized our entire relationship.
Yeah. We also all the time stop the relationship to be like, match cut.
Match cut. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's beautiful. I love me a good match cut. Yeah, I mean, you've inspired some of the videos I've made on the Film Club, and in my drafts of videos to make, some of them I want to make because of you. Yeah, like the Oscar video. I made it because we talked about it, and you just said like, that's actually kind of interesting. I do wonder how do they choose the Oscar winners, and then I thought, well, if you're curious, maybe other people will be too. And
maybe
then nobody was.
People on my very low level. If they think it's interesting, everyone will think it's interesting.
So I run the videos by you.
Yeah. It's like what's the dumb...
No. I'm not gonna accept you putting yourself down like that. I will say that you're, in a way, my perfect target audience because you're interested in movies.
I think because I'm not a regular YouTube watcher. Like I think that it's if it catches me, it would catch like, no, I don't know if that makes sense, but
I know what you're going for, but it's that and the fact that you love movies, that's the audience that I'm going for, but you're not necessarily too technical about it. So I always we talked about this a little bit earlier, but it's me always trying to find this balance of how technical and in-depth I want to get with the videos, as opposed to informing the general public about the fun things that goes on in the making of movies.
You're trying to make something for the nerdy group, and then for the who just want to be entertained.
Yeah.
Or kind of like interested, but I don't care too much about like what angle some shot was made in and how and why and what else.
Oh wow, what you just said is a part of my next video. Well, fuck me.
Well, great video. I'm looking forward to see it.
Now you sound like a true hostage. I think that the police will be knocking on my door after this podcast is out because you have all the signs of a Stockholm syndrome and being held against your will in here.
That's not true.
You know that the fact that you're blinking SOS doesn't work because this is a podcast?
And I'm still trying, even though I know it's a podcast.
That's how bad it is.
Yeah. I'm sitting next to the window and I'm hoping someone will pass by and they'll be like, what's she doing?
Why is she blinking SOS? Okay, well, we might release you. We don't know yet. How about this? You get your freedom once Ville is back, and we don't know how long that will be. So
I'll call Ville.
You might as well enjoy it while you can.
I'll be like, this guy's crazy.
Maybe that's
you
the whole
need to come back.
That's the whole reason he has a kid, just to get away from me. He was afraid to actually cut me off.
I mean, it's a good cover.
It's a good cover.
Say, yeah.
A bit too convenient, if you ask me. Okay, so I see we went way. This is pretty much the podcast. We talk about literally everything and nothing at the same time. But here's something about you.
Yeah. Careful.
Okay, I can. Shall I reveal your biggest secret? Yeah, well, your biggest secret is that you're a Dane. You're a Danish girl.
It's not really a secret.
It's not a secret at all. And if anyone has seen you in my videos, in which you are in some of them,
it says on my head. It says it's tattooed all over my face.
Exactly. In your forehead, it literally says a Dane. Like if I go to one of those AI image generators and I type in Danish girl, like your photo will pop up.
Yes, exactly.
You're as Danish as they come.
Yeah.
You're too... Okay. Enough, right? But my point was that I haven't seen that many Danish films, right? And you've been telling me a lot that I should watch more Danish movies. You've been saying this for a while.
Well, I want you to get to see the older Danish, like the classics. What I would think about is like, what's a Danish movie? It's one of those like good old classics that has like the same actors in the same like 50 movies.
The ones that everyone knows.
Yeah, not like I haven't really seen much modern Danish movies.
Yeah. Well, the one that we saw that was really good was The Hunt.
But that's like
we also saw another
not at
round.
all the same.
We also saw Another Round, which was pretty good.
That's a good movie too, yeah.
But what is a big classic that I should see? Or say like people who listen from around the world. Obviously, we have millions of listeners. Anyways, if someone wants to...
Was that the tear stick you just used?
Oh, yeah. I didn't need a tear stick for that one. If they want to see a Danish film that is Danish culture, everyone in Denmark knows, everyone in Denmark loves, what would that movie be?
Well, if we're talking like an old classic Danish movie that every Dane would probably know, that is kind of like a culture treasure vibe. And it's, I would recommend something called Olsen-banden.
Okay.
It's in English.
That's in Danish.
The Olsen Gang.
The Olsen Gang.
Yeah, it's not just one movie. It's like there's like I don't know how many there are, but there's like a bunch of them. Okay. It's about 3 guys who rob, like they want to get rich, right? And they're trying to like steal like treasures and like they break into banks and museums in these all kinds of crazy ways, like not like just like going in guns blazing like, oh, give us the money. They're more like, let's get in like at 3 a.m. in the morning, and then when
very
this
elaborate.
when this guy is like picking up his paper, we can put on some bucket and sneak in. It's a very
it sounds very stylistic. Is it sort of a comedy, or is it like a...
It's definitely comedy.
Okay,
yeah, for sure.
That sounds really fun, actually.
Yeah, and then they have these characters that they're just like iconic. It's so cool.
They're quite popular. Is there one of those movies that stands out to you, or just any is pretty good?
I mean, they're all really good. One of my favorite ones is one of them. I don't remember what they're called, but there's one where they want to like steal a vase that's supposed to be this old Chinese vase that's like worth millions. Yeah. Then they want to steal it and I guess sell it. So the vase is like they actually first have success with stealing this vase. But then they actually realize it's a fake one that they stole. And then the real one is actually in another place, and then they have to go get that. But that's in like a castle where there's like all these rich people they're gonna go have an event, and then they're going on that day to steal it because they know that they're not gonna be inside. They're going on this horse hunt, like a traditional thing, and then they're sneaking in by being the cooks of this event, and then one of them is lying inside this big oven thing that it's actually hot.
Okay.
And then it's like how they do it. It's so planned, and all these funny details, the way they kind of like get where they're supposed to go and how they get out of there, and it's
So our producer looked it up. The movie you're talking about is The Olsen Gang Sees Red. That's the name
Possibly,
of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
that
is.
Sounds
it is.
right. Yeah.
It's the English name, The Olsen Gang Sees Red, directed by Erik Belling, and it is from 1976. So, homework, check out The Olsen Gang Sees Red. I'm actually pretty interested to watch it.
It's just pure entertainment. It's so great.
It sounds, like the way you describe it, and having seen some of the images and
it has
scenes,
a lot of visual comedy.
It has this visual comedy, but it almost it sounds a little bit like Pink Panther. I think I get the vibe of
something like that. That sounds like it's a good movie to describe it.
It's also like it reminds me a little bit of this French comedian Louis de Funès. If Ville was here, he would be like, "Oh, French New Wave," when we try to sound smart when we're.
Well, I don't even know enough about it to say jokes like that, but yeah, and it's just it's cool movies, and they have the same like structure, like they build up the same way. They always find something they need to steal to get rich, and then they go get it, and then something goes wrong, and then there's the same bad guys who always come after them because they're like, oh, these guys, they always get us, or they always like, let's get them this time. And then
sounds cartoonish.
In a good way, in a sense, it is.
Yeah. Okay, that's good. Okay, well,
I actually think they made an animation. Like a version.
I wouldn't be surprised. Well, we're definitely watching that one. That's the homework for everyone listening. Okay, so Olsen Band, the Olsen Gang sees red.
Yeah, and I think they did the last one. There's a lot of them, but I think they did the last one like not long before the oldest actor of them actually died. So they were really like, they were old, and it was...
Wait, after he passed?
No, right before he passed. So when he's in the last movie, they've made one that like is a long time after they made the rest, kind of like like a reunion or whatever.
Yeah.
And then they're all like really old, and one of them died shortly after, I think, if I remember correctly. But that's just interesting to see like how they like this one is just funny because they're so old now, but they're still doing the same thing. Like they've done this their whole lives. They just try to get rich, stealing things.
Yeah, you can always make it work within the story, right?
Yeah.
That's really cool. Honestly, I think that's really cool. And I'm surprised I haven't been deported. Like in the airport, they probably ask like, have you seen Olsen Gang? No?
And it shows like a cool picture of Denmark like 40 years ago, like how like how it just looked. It's such a cool vibe.
Wow. Okay, well, we're watching that for sure. That's great.
Yeah.
Speaking of things that you like a lot, obviously me.
I was gonna say obviously not you.
Oh, I love this.
I don't know why ice cream came straight to my mind.
Yeah. Okay, so the list of things you like is ice cream, and we don't even know what else, and then potentially at some point me at your list.
Sure.
Maybe top 10, hopefully.
What's your point anyways?
Okay. Obviously, I'm not gonna get a good spot in your list. You recently finished a series together with me, called
me.
Called The Last of Us. Yes, is that correct?
Yeah.
You sound like it sounds
that's
like
correct. That's what that is. That's true.
It sounds like you're testifying. Was it correct? Did you see?
No, if I
episodes?
was being testified, I'd say no. I didn't. I don't know anything.
Well, you've sworn to tell the truth. Have you lied about anything in this podcast so far?
Well, I have barely been on this podcast so far.
You're like, I cannot get the word from you, you fucking asshole.
You said that. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, you agreed. Anyways, The Last of Us.
To what?
Yes, you love it. Great show, right?
Sure. Yeah, I love it. It's a great show.
You've been talking a lot about the show. You really liked it.
I did. It was a great show.
Cool.
I usually don't like zombie movies, and I guess technically it isn't zombies.
It is zombies.
Well, is it?
I'd say it's realistic zombies.
Well,
maybe as much as possible.
I guess it. I don't know why I just imagined that it's something else but zombies.
Yeah.
Because it's like the fungus. Fungies? I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I usually don't like those because I think they get repetitive and boring. Because it's just zombies running around.
It's always the same thing,
and
right?
then it's people trying to survive, and it's like, come on, how, like, give us something.
We get it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I actually really like this one because it gives us more like stories about the people in it. They've made the show very nicely. The acting is great.
Pretty much everything's great about it. And this show is another example of you catching something very early, because it was a few episodes in.
Not very early, but kind of like a few episodes in. I kind of got the feeling that Ellie would be like bisexual, which she turns. Lesbian. Yeah, but I got the feeling of that like a few episodes in when we met her in the series. And then like a few episodes later, we saw the one where she is hanging out with her best friend in the mall, and we find out that she's actually in love with her, and they kiss, and
was it satisfying to?
It was.
Right?
I was like, yes, I knew. I knew that.
I was fucking clueless. Yeah, I had no idea.
But yeah, that was cool. It feels like like a clap on your shoulder. Good on Yeah.
Well done to you. Yeah. And there's definitely other stuff in there that you've picked up too. But in general, you liked it a lot, as you say, because it wasn't the standard zombie stuff of you'd get chased.
And I don't know anything about the game, so I can't really compare. I can't relate to that or compare it to that. I just like it for what it is.
Yeah. Well, apparently the game is pretty good too.
Yeah.
Well, you know, like every time I see an episode, I always listen to the podcast that comes. And,
I started listening to it a little bit late, so the next time we'll watch it soon, and then I'll listen to them because I want to listen to them right after watching an episode.
Yeah, great podcast series with the show, and I always read the discussions on Reddit. I mean, I'm obsessed with this. Every time we see a film or we watch anything, I always love reading the discussions. Yeah. And for a few of the episodes, something that stood out to me. That this show did, that apparently me as a clueless guy had no idea what's going on, but it showed women specific products.
You're talking about like one moment in one episode where
there's a few
where they pointed out something very specific, woman related.
This is me trying my hardest not to sound stupid.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be difficult, so I'll just get it out. But I'm a clueless guy, and in some episodes, as you say, they showed a woman.
In one of the episodes, we see a woman giving Ellie a menstruational cup.
Yes.
Yeah. Which is something, I guess. I don't want to generalize, but most guys wouldn't really. They look at it. They're like, "What is that?"
Exactly,
and they don't understand what is so important about this picture.
Exactly.
But it's something that surprised me very much that they put it in there, because I feel like that's like a taboo to put. Like that's something that they would be like, no. Well, why would we put it? That's gross or something.
Yeah. See what you just said. That was the key word, taboo, because it is. And I think part of the issue is that obviously it's not secret that the industry is still very much male dominated. So it could be either them not even knowing or thinking about those stuff, or knowing and thinking about those stuff and still choosing not to acknowledge them
like
in any
excluded.
Way. Yeah. So it was very eye-opening for me and for a lot of. I
mean, I didn't
guys.
even honestly. I guess because of the way that, like you say, how it might be like a male decision not to have it in as a possibility. I didn't even we've gotten so used to that kind of like way of thinking. I didn't even think about it before they put it there, and I was like, oh right, like I wasn't even thinking about that part.
But that would very much be a.
But that would be a big part. That would be a problem. That would be reoccurring all the time for like half the population.
In a post-apocalyptic world, you very much would rather take care of that. And
but it's honestly a great product to have if that would ever happen, because it's sustainable. So
well, I guess in a post-apocalyptic world, sustainability in that sense is
encouraged.
Yes. But actually the first time I noticed it was previous. And by the way, people can probably hear you smell the microphone. And I'm going to leave that. And you keep smelling the microphone.
Yeah, the microphone, I don't know, this foam has like a synthetic kind of smell that, I don't know.
Honestly,
I don't know why I like it so much.
Half of the podcast
it's like when you go past a gas station and it smells like gas and you're like, that smells great.
Yeah, except in this case, people can literally hear you smelling in their ears.
No,
hopefully,
sorry.
Maybe this is like a little bit of ASMR. Maybe someone likes it. But okay, you know what? Just give us a sniff. There you go. That's for all the ASMR people out there. If you hated it, please just skip it. Send hate mail to Christina. It's her fault. Back to the point.
Well, you're distributing this podcast and you encouraged it, so is it really my fault?
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Back to the point. Before that big moment when the woman gave her instructions and everything, right? I noticed that a few episodes prior to that, when Ellie and Joe were raiding a house and they were looking for food and everything useful, and she actually found some
I know
products.
what you're talking about. I didn't notice that was anything specific.
It was some products, right? And
I know it was something. I don't know. I realized that there was something useful. I just don't know that it was related to that.
And she was kind of like, and put it in her backpack, right?
It's a great way to open people's eyes.
Yeah.
To that part of,
as you say, half the population.
Yeah.
But when you watch movies and TV shows and all that stuff, it's just not.
No,
really
I don't think about it.
Yeah.
And I don't. I don't know. I haven't thought about it as in like, why is this not in here? And I don't know. It's never. I've never thought about it. And I guess because it's not there.
Yeah.
But I don't know if people deliberately tried to remove it, like, or just chose, like, if they chose not to put it in there for a reason, or if no one, like you said, no one has any awareness around it, so why would they put it there?
Yeah, I guess it's
not, I wouldn't necessarily think like, oh, why don't they put this in there? Because honestly, it's not like I would like to see that in a movie.
No, I think
I think it's a great thing that they acknowledge it, but I don't think we need to go into details about it.
But that's why I think it was great. It made sense for the story. They could have not done it, but they did it because it made sense for the story. Definitely reading the discussions and people talking about it. A lot of women were very happy.
I really appreciated it. I don't know. I was like, that was cool. That was a nice little detail, attention to detail that I wouldn't have expected. I wouldn't even have thought about it.
Yeah.
So
and
I appreciated it.
And a lot of millions of clueless guys like me got a little bit of education. So there you go.
Which is probably not that bad of an idea.
Yeah, it can't hurt. Yes. Okay. Wow. That was
some deep stuff.
That was some deep stuff. So we started with asking who you are. Do you know now?
Who are you? Let's turn the spotlight onto you.
Oh, I totally don't like the spotlight.
Yeah, we all know that you're
Are you gonna say attention whore? You gonna say attention whore?
Well, I didn't know if I could say that, but yes, I was going to say that.
Hey, this podcast is for kids. You cannot say whore in here.
Well, I know you're making the podcast.
Because I'm a kid?
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you. I think that's enough.
That's why you need Ville, because you need a grown-up.
That's enough.
That makes sense why you want him to adopt you.
I am getting handed on my own podcast. Unacceptable.
I thought you were going to say hunted.
And you're hunting me too. I think that's enough. I had enough of you exposing me. But I'd say thank you for coming. How do you feel with this nice smelling microphone right in front of your face?
Felt good.
Awesome. And we'll probably do another one. And because I want it to be very entertaining, I will not speak to you for 2 weeks.
Great.
Wait.